people, but anybody could be less fortunate in a day or even a second. Claire from Virginia. The Feeding America network of food banks helps provide over 6 billion meals to people in need each year. No one should have to worry where their next meal will come from. Together, we can end hunger. Learn more at feedingamerica.org.
Hi, I'm Judith Light. So there you are. It's flu season, and you're over 65 like me. You're having another busy year. So much to do, so many roles in life to play. But you feel like you might be forgetting something serious. Your annual flu shot. And before you know it, it's too late. It's not just the aches, fever, and chills that last for days and days. The flu can be life-threatening, especially if you have chronic conditions like diabetes and heart disease, which can worsen with the flu. Being active and healthy alone won't protect you. The immune system weakens with age, making you more susceptible to the flu. If you're over 65, ask about your vaccine options, including one made specifically for us. An annual flu shot is the best way to help keep the flu away. Visit the National Council on Aging at ncoa.org/flu to learn more and talk to your doctor or pharmacist about vaccine options for people 65 and older. Again, that's ncoa.org/flu.
As a doctor, I see patients every day who are losing their vision and independence to age-related macular degeneration, also known as AMD. It's the leading cause of blindness in adults 55 and older. Some of us are at greater risk for AMD. If you have blurry vision or blind spots, they can be symptoms of AMD. If left untreated, it can lead to blindness. The good news, with early detection, AMD can be managed with effective clinically approved treatments that can reduce or even reverse some vision loss. Learning that you have AMD can be scary, but there's hope and help. The Foundation Fighting Blindness is researching and developing treatments and cures for AMD. To get your free AMD information packet, contact the Foundation Fighting Blindness today at 1-800-BLINDNESS. That's 1-800-BLINDNESS. Join the fight against AMD, because together there is a cure in sight.
My name's Michaela. I joined the Army at 17. When I got back from Iraq a few years ago, I became pregnant and ended up homeless.
No veteran should ever face homelessness. The U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs is working hard to end veteran homelessness by the end of 2015. VA offers programs to help eligible veterans stay healthy, find a job, and secure or maintain safe, stable housing. With a simple call to 877-424-3838, specialists can connect veterans to the services and support they have earned, regardless of their branch or era of service.
My life works now. I got help from VA, and now I'm on a mission to share these resources.
VA is here to help. If you or a veteran you know is homeless or at immediate risk of becoming homeless, call 877-424-3838 or chat online at va.gov/homeless.
It is with great pleasure that I welcome you to today's graduation ceremony. Students, when you hear the reason or reasons for your absences throughout the years, please exit the auditorium without your high school diploma. Once you've exited, remove your cap and gown and proceed into the unknown. Too tired. Family trip. Part-time job. Helping around the house. Sick day. Starting the holidays early. Just because.
Starting in the 6th grade, students who miss 18 days or more of school in a year for any reason will fall behind and risk not graduating high school. How many days of school has your child missed this year? Absences add up. Keep track at boostattendance.org today. Brought to you by the U.S. Army and the Ad Council.
When I grow up, I want to be a new pair of blue jeans.
When I grow up, I want to be a kid's first computer.
When I grow up, I don't want to be a piece of garbage. And if you recycle me, I won't be.
Give your garbage another life. Recycle. Learn how at iwanttoberecycled.org. Brought to you by Keep America Beautiful and the Ad Council.
WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3 Philadelphia. From the Piazza Auto Group Studios, experience the power of one with 8 brands and 25 locations. Always live on the free Odyssey app. It's Barry, Sable, and Friends on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Yes, it's Father's Day. Today, men, it's our day to brag. Let's go. No one loves you like Dad. He might drive you crazy sometimes. He might even annoy you, nag you, and ask you too many questions. But no one will ever cheer louder, show up faster, or love you like your dad does. No jealousy, moms. It's our day. Okay, my lovely wife, I'm on my way. Take out the trash and pick up my socks. Then can I listen to the Barry Sable Show with friends? That's just the way it goes, men. Well, good morning. Thanks for tuning in to the Barry Sable Show with friends. Always grateful to you for spending some of your Sunday with us. Yes, I am calling in live from Curitiba, Brazil. You know, would not like to miss doing a show. In Philly, in studio 1210 WPHT is Pac-Man. My friend, good morning.
Good morning, Uncle Barry. You know, I was going to tell everyone that you were on a special assignment, and you just gave it away there. But I heard you're on assignment in Brazil. You're the bikini inspector because you are a single guy, and you want to make sure that the girls down there are wearing the proper bikinis on the beach, the latest fashions, and
proper attire.
Proper attire. And happy Father's Day to all our great fathers out there too, and especially the fathers, the founding fathers of our country.
Yes. Before I get started, I just want to say congratulations to Jack Chitterelli. You spent so much time. I'm so proud of you for what you did to help push the guy past the winner's circle. And obviously, he came up big, smashed his opponents. And I do believe, as I said before on the air with you last week, he's the right guy. Any thoughts before I go on?
Well, congratulations to Jack. You want to talk about a unified Republican Party in New Jersey. Jack received over 70% of the vote. That is unification. The voters in New Jersey, the Republican voters in New Jersey, came out, voted in droves for him. I also have to give a big shout out for our Legislative District 4 candidates, Amanda Esposito and Jerry McManus. They had a commanding win over their primary opponent, and it was a great team. Campaign manager Nora Ashman. I worked on that campaign myself and many others, and I just want to say what a fantastic job they did because they're good candidates, including Jack, make this look easy.
Yeah, well, listen, like it was time for Pennsylvania, where we strictly and solely endorsed McCormick in every which way. It's our time for Jersey, and now big times are ahead. So, unlike great dads, never disparagingly, Pac-Man, as I see it candidly, Americans have become frustrated, untrustworthy, alienated from the annex of politics and the United States government. Why? Clearly, our elected politicians have been lying to us rather than representing us for issues that we are and is in our best interest. For the most part, they have lined their pockets, not lied, just lied, but lined their pockets with gold and silver along with the American currency while lying to our faces, simply to get elected, playing a major role in wrongfully affecting our safety. Yeah, the bikinis have gotten to me. Well-being and total welfare. And now we can't turn a corner without fear of the results of these misconceptions and falsehoods. Case in point, Pac-Man, the two people recently gunned down in the streets of Washington. That was a hateful crime against two young futuristic prides. Or the crimes in Colorado, or the big crime in Colorado, where brutal murders of Lincoln Riley, Rachel Morin, and Miss Jacqueline, as well as those people, resulting from illegals, whereas Alejandro Mayorkas has been telling us then that repeatedly our borders were closed and secure. We have been deceived and duped. And furthermore, the distinct views on politics of the two parties has led to uncertainty, confusion, and to the state of division in our country today. Just look at the protests in our streets. Kirk, can we pull up the Tom Holman clip, and let me get Pac-Man's thoughts on the other side of that.
Where were you when 10.5 million people came to our borders illegally? Where were you when millions were released in the United States in defiance of federal law? The law says you come to this country, you come to our borders without proper documentation, you shall be detained. Not released, shall be detained. Where were you when they released the millions of people in the United States? Where were you when a record number of people on terrorist watch list crossed this border and were released in the United States with no vetting? Where were you when 250,000 Americans died from fentanyl coming across the border, open border, Biden administration? Where were you then? You were silent, which means you're complicit. You didn't say a word about the violation of laws that put America at great risk. Not just public safety, national security. So where were you then? It's pathetic and disgusting. They are
Pac-Man.
I hear you.
Yeah, so I guess listen, the line wasn't clear, but here's the point I was trying to make, is that, and I want to go on to say, play the clip before I get your response, Kirk, if we can, from Obama.
As we are a nation of immigrants, we're also a nation of laws. Undocumented workers broke our immigration laws, and I believe that they must be held accountable, especially those who may be dangerous. If you're a criminal, you'll be deported. If you plan to enter the U.S. illegally, your chances of getting caught and sent back just went up. The actions I'm taking are not only lawful, they're the kinds of actions taken by every single Republican president and every single Democratic president for the past half century.
Go ahead, Pac-Man, your thoughts before I get to Miss Hillary Clinton next.
Well, let me give you some statistics here. First off, you heard Obama say, we are going to follow the law. We are a nation of laws. So there's two different ways that we deport people in the United States. One is called a return, and the other was a removal. A return is someone that we deem, without going through the court system, that they need to be returned back to their country of origin. Well, let me throw a number at you. Obama returned. That means they did not go through our courts over 2 million people during his tenure. 3 million people.
I think it was more, Pac-Man. I think it was like 2.4 or closer to 3 million, but go ahead. Doesn't matter.
So it was
same thing.
2 million. Clinton, 10 million. Under Donald Trump, to date, 500,000 have been returned. So in other words, he is following the court process on it. 2 million legally have been deported under President Trump. Under Biden, because he didn't care, he didn't enforce the laws, only 100,000 people were removed and 500,000 people were deported. Returned. 100,000 were returned and only 500,000 were removals. So what does that tell you? Obama told him we were going to follow the law. Biden came into the office and said, nope, we are not following the law. He deported no one.
That's right. So let me take you to Hillary Clinton, because I want to make my point at the end. So Hillary Clinton in November 2015, during her presidential campaign, said she, meaning I voted numerous times when I was a senator, to spending money to building a barrier. Listen to this, to try and prevent illegal immigrants from coming into and adding to our country. And I do think you have to control your borders. Furthermore, as a senator, she voted for the Secure Fence Act of 2006. This act authorized the construction of approximately 700 miles of fencing along the U.S. border. And then at the DNC convention in July of 2016, she spoke against Trump's plan to build a wall, then chastised Trump for building a wall. So I ask the people of America today, intellectually, where are you? I mean, you have now seen Obama say we have to protect, Trump come in and attempt to do that, building a wall, Biden opening up the wall and the border, no walls, come on in. Hillary Clinton, two-faced one way or the other. This leads me to the question, Pac-Man. No wonder why people are protesting today, because we have been wishy-washy with people. We haven't taken an exact stance. So I understand why people feel the way they do. Go ahead before I continue.
Well, first and foremost, her husband, President Clinton, signed an act into law in 1996 124 of the Democrats voted for this in the House. 32 out of 47 senators voted for a Democrat. And basically what it was is the immigration officer determines whether that migrant is inadmissible. In other words, he doesn't you come in this country, the officer said you could come in, you can't come in. Under that act, they turned away over 10 million people. And it's some reason now, Clinton said that we needed to build a wall. We did that. But then when Trump tried to build a wall and stop these people from coming into the country illegal, somehow he's a king. He's racist. He's this, he's that. The Democrats have flip-flopped continually on this process. The Republicans have stayed steadfast on it. We are going to stop people from coming in illegally, and we are going to follow the laws in our book. And President Trump has proved that. He has the lowest amount of removals without or returns without court orders. He has the most removals with court orders.
But here's my question to you. This country, doesn't have rules and regulations of consistency that people could follow. Meaning, they let you in for a scholastic education here, visas, so you got that. You have visas for tourism, and a lot of these people never left. So here now's what happens. They come here on a visa, and they start to develop a life, and nobody tracks them down and says, you have to leave. So picture somebody coming here 10 years ago, never leaving, is here illegal the whole time, somehow gets a driver's license, I don't know how, gets a social security number, and they start to develop a life. They build a house, they get married, they send their kids to school, and now you're going to say to them, you've got to leave? How is this working out? I personally understand how people are protesting. I get it. And so should everybody else. Our country stinks at making things black and white when it needs to be. Look, I'm not in favor of illegal migration, but our country has situated us in a bad way. Pac-Man, I understand why people are protesting. Now you're going to just tell them you got to leave? In my mind, and I told you this last week, give people 60, 90 days to report. The bad people, we got to kick them out. And I don't know how Holman's going to do it. I don't know how Trump's going to do it. I just know one thing, that I don't think you could have people yinging and yanging and expect them not to protest, Pac-Man. That's just my thoughts. People may disagree. I'm not in favor of illegal migration, but I'm also not in favor of allowing people to stay here and then all of a sudden one day after Obama lets them all in, say you got to leave.
Right, now it's a huge problem, and actually President Trump tried to fix that in his first term. He agreed to pass DACA, which Democrats have been reeling against for years, and as soon as he wanted to sign on to it, they wouldn't give him the win, because their whole goal is to make sure that these people eventually get a path to citizenship and then vote Democratic. So Nikki Haley has also said, too, listen, if you overstayed your visa, just go back to your country of origin, apply again, and we will let you in legally, and then let's work to permanent residence. My feeling is that the people that have established a life here, they're not criminals. Their kids have gone through our schools. We've already invested in these kids. Give them a path to give them a permanent residence, not a path to citizenship, because they should not be voting. So that is one thing that I'm thinking of. There is ways to do this, but unfortunately, the Democrats will not work with President Trump and the Republicans. I am going to push this all off on them. And then after the break, I'm going to talk about a little something that happened in 2005 from Nancy Pelosi that a lot of people forgot about when she railed against illegal immigration. So, Kurt, we're probably close to a break. You tell me if it's time to go.
Yes.
All right, it's time to go to that break.
Well, let me give you one thought. Let's get back to dads, great dads. 3 signs of being a great dad. Your family is special because you have it. You wouldn't have it any other way. You make us as good as we can be. You push us to reach the unattainable. You are the best dad. Let's take a break. You have been listening to the Barry Sable Show with friends in studio. Pac-Man, me, Curitiba, Brazil. We'll see you on the other side of the break.
Connected TV is one of the most effective channels for driving measurable advertising results. That's because when your customer's not scrolling, they're streaming. Let Viant put your ads right where they are, on the best content across the most premium platforms in the world. We're talking real consumers, big screens, big outcomes. With Viant, you get people-based targeting, AI-powered performance, and full access to inventory built to seize eyeballs, not clickbait. Viant, where premium streaming meets performance. Visit ViantInc.com/CTV to unlock real results today.
Summer's coolest mattress deals are going on now at Ashley's Stars and Stripes sale. This summer, save up to $1,000 on select mattresses. And say goodbye to hot sleep and save up to $500 on the best-selling Tempur-Breeze collection. Plus, feel the freedom to snooze now and pay later with 0% interest until 2030 on in-store purchases made with your Ashley Advantage Synchrony credit card. Better sleep starts at Ashley. Subject to credit approval. Minimum monthly payments required. See store for details.
Hi, this is Larry Steinhaus, and I want to let you know that I buy houses. I buy houses from people that may be a tired landlord, maybe somebody who's having trouble selling their house, or maybe someone who needs to sell their house quickly. Well, all you need to do is call 855-939-1137. That's 855-939-1137, and I promise to answer the phone and help you with your situation. That's right, your house may be cluttered. It may be a house that a relative left you, or it may just be a house you just want to get rid of. 855-939-1137.
Don't miss the Labor and Energy Show with J-Doc and Krause, brought to you by the Labor and Energy Alliance this Saturday night at 6. Find out about the important issues that will affect you. The Labor and Energy Show, Saturday night at 6 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
At PGW, safety is essential to delivering clean, reliable natural gas to Philadelphia homes and businesses. If you smell gas, call PGW at 215-235-1212.
If you're drowning in IRS debt and can't afford to pay, then you need to take advantage of special IRS tax programs that are available and free yourself from IRS collection efforts once and for all. Due to the financial hardship consumers are facing throughout the country, the Internal Revenue Service has made it easier to settle delinquent tax problems. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Take down this number or store it in your cell phone, but call the Community Tax Helpline at 800-536-9607. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back, or even if you have years of unfiled tax returns, there's no need to fear anymore. But you have to call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-536-9607 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-536-9607 for your free consultation and to see if you qualify. That's 800-536-9607.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime. We're not here to be the biggest. We're here to bring you something we believe is better. Our plans start at just $20. You'll get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/facts or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
I'm Todd and Tucky of TNT Amusements in Southampton, Bucks County, and we sell real pinball machines and arcade video games like Pac-Man for your home. Your home. Imagine the fun your family can have. You can even rent our maze-like showrooms for an arcade party. So, check out our website, tntamusements.com, or just Google us. TNT Amusements.
Follow Talk Radio 1210 on Instagram and Facebook at 1210 WPHT.
Yes, indeed, we are back. You are listening to the Barry Sable Show with friends sitting in studio. Pac-Man, Uncle Barry, halfway around the world in Curitiba, Brazil. Go ahead, Pac-Man. You have some stats for me? Go ahead.
I got some
stats.
I got some stats, but I think there is something that you really should hear from Nancy Pelosi in 2005. We started out of where you were, and she's going to tell you where she was in 2005, and you'll be astounded by some of these
But
facts.
I just want you to know, Pac-Man, before you play it, that was the theme of this show today. And then obviously I take off for Brazil, okay, on Tuesday, get here Wednesday, and the world is coming apart. We have all these protests that are throughout the country, especially LA, and you could kind of fill me in a little bit where else. But nevertheless, then you have a war in Israel. So I ask people, where were you? And all of these things are a residue in my mind for things that should have been taken care of appropriately over the years. That's all I'm saying. I mean, I'm not going to pass a vote how it should be done now because, to be honest with you, it's over most people's pay scale, including mine. You made a mess, you got to clean it up. Go ahead, go ahead, Pac-Man.
Yeah, well, I will say this: President Trump is trying to clean up this mess, and he's being stopped every time he tries to do something. But
I know.
yeah, I know it's really bad. But it's important that our listeners know what exactly the Speaker of the House in 2005 said. So, Kurt, if you could just give us the first 30 seconds of that of her clip, that'd be great.
Broken borders. That's an oxymoron. Something we can't tolerate. Borders, of their nature, our definition as a nation and our protection as a country. Broken borders, they don't exist. We can't tolerate them. So let's say from the start that we all in this body, and I know I can speak very firmly for the Democrats, support strong border control. And it must.
There you go. There you go, Uncle Barry. Kurt, thank you very much.
Yeah.
She supported that in 2005. 20 years later, she's railing against the Republicans. Let me tell you what else. I'll give you the stat real quick, Uncle Barry. From 1990 to 2018, Democratic presidents deported over 3.9 million people with an annual average of 246,000. Compared to Republican presidents that deported about 2.7 million people, it's about 205,000 people a year. The Democrats are the ones that were calling for secure borders. That's where they were 20 years ago. Where are they now?
Yeah, that's the theme of this show. Why am I obviously compelled to talk about this? Because you've got your guy, Jack Ciattarelli, and we live in the state of New Jersey. And it's important for us to know we need to defend our borders, and we cannot be a sanctuary city like other cities. You could see what's happening throughout the country. Explain to me, in your mind, how have we gone so far astray as a country? Why have not Republicans all over the place just run the clips like we just did? It's obvious that these Democrats are thinking conversely to what Trump is trying to do now and what's in the best interest of our country. Hey, Pac-Man, why hasn't this been done over the last 3-4 years? Everybody that runs on a Republican ticket to say just at the borders here alone, look how you took one stance. What changed your mind now?
Right. Well, every Republican should be doing exactly what President Trump is doing and saying that we are going to honor the laws on the book. If you don't like the laws on the books, then you need to change those laws. Congress has the power to do that. We send our representatives to D.C. to represent us, but they're scared to do anything because they're going to get out of power. They're going to get it voted out. I will say this, though. The Republicans are finally rallying around the president. They know his approval ratings are good, and this is actually doing the right thing for our country. They are loud on the other side. The nonsense from the protesters is all anti-Trump BS. That's it. The Democrats supported closed borders until Trump did something about it, and that's the case. You have a great clip that you had sent us before about Mayorkas, and I want you to go and break that down for us because he is lying to us directly. And the reporter, actually the liberal reporter, is catching him lying, but I need you to break that down for us, Uncle Barry.
Go ahead. Do we have the clip or no?
Is closed. The border is secure. We are expelling families. We are expelling single adults under the CDC's authority, under Title 42 of the United States Code, because we are in the midst of a pandemic, and that is a public health imperative. We are encouraging children not to come. Now is not the time to come. Do not come. The journey is dangerous. We are building safe, orderly, and humane ways to address the needs of vulnerable children. Do not come.
I know you're trying to get that message out now, but your team was also briefed by career professionals at DHS during the transition about the possibility of this crisis. You yourself say we are on pace to have one of the largest migrant surges in 20 years. Why were you not prepared for this?
Martha, let me be clear. We have seen large numbers of migration in the past. We know how to address it. We have a plan. We are executing on our plan, and we will succeed. This is what we do. But one thing is also clear, that it takes time. And why does it take time now? Why is it especially challenging and difficult now? Because the entire system under United States law that has been in place throughout administrations of both parties was dismantled in its entirety by the Trump administration.
Kurt, if you stop that. Uncle Barry, that is a complete lie. Mayorkas is lying to the American people. The reporter did catch him on this. That is untrue. You saw, after 2 weeks of President Trump being back in office, when they kept saying Congress has to act, he closed down the border.
Yeah. Listen, Pac-Man, the reason I'm spending so much time with you discussing this is because of the following. Illegals, oh my God, comfortable in sanctuary cities mostly, where law has been disregarded for decades. Over time, they now feel and have felt entitled to stay here. It is their right. Number one, there is no such right, and anyone here without permission is subject to removal. And Americans voted and approved this. Like you said, federal offense. Chapter 8, Section 1325 of U.S. Code prohibits illegal entry is a misdemeanor. Illegal re-entry is a felony under Section 1326. Let's make it clear. If you are here illegal, you're not here to stay. I don't care how you entered this country. That's what this administration is saying now. Look, Pac-Man, I've told you before, I don't like the message that Kristi Noem and this administration is doing right now, that you have to leave and come back. That's an impossibility. It's not going to happen that way. But why can't we just have people report like I keep asking? Just report so we know who you are. And on a one-on-one basis, we'll make a decision, Pac-Man. Why can't it be done that way? Maybe we wouldn't have all these protesting. We know, Pac-Man, that it's being endorsed by people such as, but not included, George Soros. It could be the cartels that are paying. You had, from what I understand, and I'm down here, bats in the bushes, and other things, bricks everywhere, so they could throw at policemen and everything else. This is a major problem. I'm looking for a solution now that we spend 30 minutes on talking about what the problem is, Pac-Man.
Unfortunately, we talked about this over and over and over again. Common sense has escaped, definitely D.C. for sure. And unfortunately, some of the American citizens, they just think it's okay. Well, they're here for a better life. They still broke our laws, and we need to fix this. President Trump is doing one thing and one thing very good. When you stop the flow of illegal immigration, then you can start to tackle the problem of illegal immigration. I agree with you. We should have a path to permanent residence for right now for people that have gone through our school system and not breaking our laws. But our Congress has to act on this. Both sides of the aisle have to stop complaining and arguing against each other and actually do something to make this country better again, because that's what our founding fathers wanted on this Father's Day.
Yeah, and I want to just leave you before we take a break. I'm tired of hearing that immigration is a racist system. I don't want to hear that anymore. The top 10 countries, Pac-Man, that are sending us immigrants: Mexico, India, China, Philippines, El Salvador, Vietnam, Cuba, Dominican Republic, Guatemala, South Korea. Those countries are not white populated, and we're accepting all these people. I don't want to hear anymore that this is racist from left, right, or down the middle. Kurt, are we up against the break?
We are definitely up against the break, Uncle Barry.
There you go. You have to listen to the Barry Sable Show with friends. We will see you on the other side.
Retirement. Exciting, but also kind of scary. How do you create that paycheck to do everything you want to do? Tune in to the Retirement Spectrum with Alan Cohen, Saturdays at 6 a.m. and 3 p.m. on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Attention. Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10, $20, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-207-4545. That's 800-207-4545. Once again, that's 800-207-4545.
1-877 Cards for Kids. KARS Cards for Kids. 1-877 Cards for Kids. Donate your card today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Also on the web at carsforkids.com. That's Cars with a K. We're a recognized 501c3 charity organization, so you'll receive a maximum tax deduction. What's more, you'll receive a free vacation voucher of 3 days and 2 nights.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
From Pottstown to Vincenttown, we know your favorite station is Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Yes, indeedy, we are back. You are listening to the Barry Sable Show with friends. Yes, I'm all in for this immigration system to fix it. Pac-Man, tell me what's going on in L.A. and throughout the country, please.
Well, first off, they started this stuff with the idea behind No King's Day. This is from some article I just pulled up. No King's Day is the largest single peaceful protest in recent American history. It's made up of millions of normal, everyday people showing up to put around that we don't want a king. A lot of it is now centralized behind the deportations, but it's organized. This is crap. I will say this, in New Jersey, I did not see anything really materialize over this. A few people at some rally here, whatever, but it's well organized. Of course, in the big cities, it was a problem, but it's nonsense. It's nonsense. They're not telling these people the truth. And President Trump, if the main one is about the immigration and the deportations, all President Trump is doing is deporting the people that have deportation orders against them under the Biden administration.
Yeah. So tell me what's happening in L.A. In others, I know he said in the troops, I guess the National Guard, and there was some military. How has that been received?
Of course, the mainstream media is acting like, he's Hitler and he's stopping free speech and this. But actually what he's doing is protecting American interests. They were attacking federal buildings. They were attacking federal agents. You can't do that. The governor is allowing lawlessness. He would be happy if L.A. burnt down again. It's insanity. But guess what, Uncle Barry? It did backfire. Most of the American people have said, well, I don't want that in my neighborhood. Listen, there's nothing wrong with protesting. And I agree, we should be able to say what we want against our governments. That's what our founding fathers wanted. But to burn down cities and attack our law enforcement officers over a false pretense and actually have paid protesters out there and, delivering the bricks and throwing them, that's uncalled for, but it's backfiring on the Democrats. All these Democrats are trying to do is get some type of airtime because they're all vying to see who's going to run for president in 2028 at the expense of law-abiding American citizens. Imagine, I have friends out in L.A., and they're going, this is ridiculous. We can't leave our house.
Of course. Tell me about Philly. Was there any repercussions in Philly and other cities throughout the country?
I didn't follow it so much yesterday because it really did not materialize. There was some stuff in Philly. I didn't see anything big about it. There was no destruction. They didn't break the windows like that happened when Biden was in office, when they broke all the stuff on Market Street. There was no looting. There was none of this because people are tired of it. Can't they see that 75 million people came out and voted for President Trump? They weren't all Republicans. They were a lot of Democrats and independents because they didn't want the lawlessnesses. They were tired
But
of
I
the
can't
riots.
understand why all Americans don't want us to have safe streets. We don't need criminals in this country that don't belong. Listen, Trump, a long time ago, told you the way it was. How he knew, don't ask me. Countries are unloading their jails and their insane asylums and sending us the worst hombres possible. And you know something? True to form, it's happened. I can't understand why every single person in this country want unlike people living here with us that are committing crimes, murders, rapes, and everything else. This just doesn't make common sense to me, Pac-Man.
Well, it doesn't make common sense to me either, and I think there definitely was a march in Philadelphia, but it didn't escalate to the size that we saw back in 2020. And also, they were protesting against President Trump having a military style parade for the 250th anniversary of our army. Now, listen, it wasn't a display of might and strength. They had some tanks going down the street. It was to boost military morale. But let me tell you what happened after this. President Trump himself gave the oath to our new recruits at this, and basically as the parade ended, Trump presided over a reenlistment ceremony for hundreds of military members recommitting themselves to the service in the U.S. Army. They loved it. Wow. These people are re-enlisting. We're not forcing them to be our military members. They re-up themselves. What is wrong with celebrating the people that are willing to put their lives on their line to fight for our country? Where is the common sense on this?
I don't know. I'm asking you.
Well, I will say this. I didn't watch a whole lot of news yesterday, but the research that I've done for the show, a few other things, I was hard pressed to find really bad stories about what was going on with the anti-King rallies, and also they kind of praised that the parade really went off nice and it wasn't overly done, and they all said one thing, which is unbelievable that the mainstream media would say this, that President Trump did not mention politics one time in any of his statements or the speech. He gave a very short speech there, and he just talked about the greatness of our country. And I'm going to give you a firsthand experience of that, too. I took my family down to his July 4th celebration, and we did listen to his speech, which was much longer. It was about 17 minutes, but never once did he mention
July
politics.
4th? It's not on June.
Well, I'm just saying, in July 4th, I did this, I think it was in 2018. We went down to D.C. When President Trump did a great July 4th parade in Washington, D.C., and he never mentioned politics. Whenever he speaks on behalf of the country, he talks about the country as a whole. And he did not invoke politics into any of these speeches. The same thing he did on the beaches of Normandy when he gave a great speech there. So this guy is for our country. I know there's going to be people on the other side that say
I'm not worried about him. I'm worried about everybody else.
So what I have to do is people like ourselves. We're doing this. You're in Brazil. You're supposed to be taking a little bit of a break, but you still wanted to come on the radio and express express why you don't understand why there's no common sense in this country. We need to keep fighting. We need to fight, and we need to put people that are in office that represent the values of this country.
Yeah, and I have to tell you something. I've been to 30 times, okay? This past trip, and I want to say thank you to my little family in Caxias. I'm an uncle to them. They showed me a great time. But I have to tell you something. In Caxias, which is right outside of Rio, there are so many poor people in this country and little surrounding of the big cities. Even the big cities have a lot of poor people. People of the United States need to travel and come and see how other people live. I could tell you, I'm astounded. I have never come to Brazil in June. I've always been here in December when it's hot. Do you know I am in so much money in Curitiba, but do you know 99% of these people don't have heat?
No heat?
I've now, and it's cold here. I've now slept in people's houses. I went to sleep, and I went to dinner at someone's house last night. They don't have heat. We're having dinner in jackets. People in the on board and to realize we're free, we make decisions, we're a terrific entrepreneur country. You could get an education if you want. They have to come visit and really see for people that are less fortunate and maybe get on board and not find fault with the United States. You don't like living in your took us out. There's plenty of countries that'll take you. Stop complaining. Go ahead, Pac-Man.
I am so happy you said took us, because I definitely would have been upset if that word was not used on this program on Sunday. But you are correct. Listen, our country may not be perfect, but there's no Brazilian dream. There's no, but there's the American dream.
I know.
People come here.
Tell me about Israel. And tell our listeners what is really going on in Israel right now. I know that there was bombing back and forth. Tell me what's happening there.
So Israel did send missiles into Iran, strategic targets, because they were very, very close to building or having the capability of a nuclear bomb. And if we remember, the colonel came on and told us that they had them already. It wasn't like they weren't finished. They had them. Nope. And he was correct. And you heard it here on the Barry Sable Show and Friends. The colonel came on and told us they had at least 8 of them that were available.
Manis, that is.
Yeah, Colonel Manis, he told us that.
Ahead.
And they actually hit those those strategic locations. Now, of course, Iran took that as an act of war, and they sent missiles into Israel. There are casualties. I read this morning there was 13 innocent people killed in Israel from those. But the problem that we have is Iran, and President Trump will say it over and over again. He had them broke. They had no money. They couldn't do this. And Biden, by design, I don't think he did it, but by design, whoever was running the country in the auto pen gave them, I think it was $6 billion. Yeah, $6 billion. Shortly after that, $6 billion was given to them. October 7th happened in Israel. They keep attacking Israel.
All could have been avoided, Pac-Man.
It definitely could have been avoided. And
avoided.
And President
you
Trump.
already know Iran is your enemy,
right.
Don't you?
Right.
They've told you they would destroy your ally in Israel and Western civilization if they could. What else do you need to hear? Really?
I know. And the problem that I have, too, is American citizens will say, well, Israel shouldn't be attacking another country. This country, Iran, says death to America and death to Israel. Yes, if this country has a nuclear capability, Israel did us a favor by taking those capabilities out. President Trump has been adamant, and there is no proof. Americans are not involved in this, and nor will he get involved in it unless they attack American interest. We should stay out of this, but Iran needs to go. Their leadership needs to go. There are people in that country that if you even say one bad thing about the government, saying, "Oh, I'd like it to be free," or this, they will kill you. It's that simple. This country will kill Americans and kill Israelis anytime, any place. Doesn't make a difference. And if people remember, they also didn't like Obama. They hung him in, I can never say that, apathy in their streets, along with Bush and President Trump. They hate Americans. Why would we be supporting that country and giving them that kind of money?
Well, listen, why do we have people prancing on the streets protesting people that go in and murder people like they did in Israel? Listen, I surely understand. I'm sympathetic to all people's lives. I don't want to see people, even as a Jew, people in Gaza losing their lives because they couldn't control the government and they couldn't control politics and Hamas there. I get it. Nobody wanted to take these people. We have to help put this planet back on track again. We need peace. Just listen to Michael Jackson songs all day long. Peace in the world. Listen, I think it's time to take a break, boys. What do you think, Kurt?
Absolutely, Uncle Barry. It is time to take a break.
Yep, miss you in studio. You have been listening to the Barry Sable Show with Friends, Talk Radio 1210 WPHT in Curitiba, Brazil. I'll see you on the other side of the break.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
Add some star-spangled style to your summer with Ashley Stars and Stripes sale. Going on now. Shop Hot Buys for every room in your home. Now just $6.99. Plus, you can save up to $1,000 store-wide. And don't miss upgrading your patio. Save up to 20% on select outdoor furniture. Or feel the freedom to buy now and pay over time with 0% interest until 2030 on in-store purchases made with your Ashley Advantage Synchrony credit card. Only at Ashley. Subject to credit approval. Minimum monthly payments required. See store for details.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano with big news. Rescue's Natural Supplements is rolling back the clock and prices. That's right, supplements you trust at prices you haven't seen in over a decade. Plus, they're offering a massive 33% off on top of already discounted 2010 rollback pricing. That's every product, omega-3s, probiotics, joint support, everything. Prices roll back to get you ready for summer. Just use that code WELLNESS at checkout for 33% off your entire order on Rescue's single bottles. To order, call a Rescue product consultant, 800-26-ALIVE. That's 800-262-5483. Or shop online by visiting res-q.com. That's res-q.com. Feel better, get active, turn back the clock with Rescue's 2010 pricing. Wellness, WELLNESS for 33% off on top of the 2010 rollback pricing. Get healthy, get saving at res-q.com. Do it today.
I'm Ultima Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Every time one of my children started driving, it was terrifying. Thousands of accidents happen across the country. We see it every day. If you've been injured in a car accident, call us.
Dial # law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Don't miss the Education Show with Dom Giordano every Sunday morning at 5:30. Find out how you can help your child or grandchild succeed. Sponsored by New Hope Academy.
Attention! If you owe money to the IRS, this is an urgent message. The IRS is cracking down by sending out collection letters, garnishing paychecks, seizing bank accounts, and putting liens on homes and businesses. They call it enforced compliance, and you better watch out because penalties and interest on unpaid taxes compound daily, making it even harder to get out of debt. Don't let tax debt destroy your life. You need to call Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax resolution firm. They're experts in taxpayer assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, Optima's resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. Let them fight on your behalf, helping to put your tax problems to rest. Call the tax professionals at Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Here at the Almond Joy Factory, where tropical vibes abound, we use soft, fresh-tasting coconut.
The crunchiest almonds and delicious chocolate candy.
Ah, but do you know what our most important ingredient is? Sometimes you feel like a nut.
Sometimes you don't.
Almond Joy's got nuts and something even way better than that. Yes, Almond Joy is made with almonds and joy.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime. We're not here to be the biggest. We're here to bring you something we believe is better. Our plans start at just $20. You'll get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/fax or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Free speech in Philly on Odyssey's #1 talk station. Talk Radio 1210. WPHT.
Yes, indeed, we are back. Sitting in studio without me. Pac-Man was out far away. Pac-Man, go ahead. Your thoughts before I tell you something that's perturbing me.
Well, first and foremost, it's not the same without you in here, Uncle Barry, but this is working. I love talking to you on Sunday morning. We have the best conversations, and what we need to do is have other people think about what we're talking about. We always say that we're just two regular guys that have had enough and are going to speak up as loudly as we possibly can, but we need to fight for this country. We may not agree on everything politically, but right now, what's happening in the world and also what's happening in our country, we need to stick together on this. There are some politicians out there that want to defeat us from within. We have to stop that. Take a look back. Don't look at the person. Don't look at Trump. Don't look at Biden. Take a look at what they're trying to, the agenda they're trying to push on us. Open borders, men and girls sports, allowing other cultures to and other countries to infiltrate us from within. That needs to end. And that's the biggest thing and why I do this. And not for myself. I mean, listen, I have a son. It's Father's Day. I want to protect him at all costs. I'm not going to be here one day. And we should leave our country better for our children than we have it right now.
Yeah. Well, let me say this much. I'm sitting in the office of Roger, and my friend Anna is here as well. And Roger said something to me, and he said, which is true. These are very sensitive issues, and they are, and they have to be resolved. But we have to be clear. Red light, yellow light, green light. I say it all the time. You're not allowed to go on a red light, at least straight. In New Jersey, obviously, you could turn right. We need consistency. We can't allow our people to not understand the direction of our country. We need better politicians, Pac-Man.
We do need better politicians, and I'm trying to do that, again, with working with the governor of New Jersey, Jack Ciattarelli. I feel that he is the best person to run the state of New Jersey, which also strengthens the Delaware Valley. And he's not, his opponent is only talking about fighting against President Trump. That doesn't make sense. How does that help the residents of New Jersey? What specifically is President Trump doing to the residents of New Jersey that's hurting them, instead of just trying to lower the taxes and make them safer? I don't understand that. Yeah. So that's why it's super important everyone gets involved. Voter turnout, we talk about it all the time. We can't win elections with 40% of voter turnout, or we can't get the best politicians. No. Also, we need to tone down. I do have to mention this. We have to tone down the rhetoric against it. We've lost 4 Democrat legislatures were shot yesterday. 2 of them are dead. That is uncalled for. Political violence is never, ever the answer.
Well, here's what I had jotted down. Obviously, there's so many things going on. I jotted down the other day. Now it appears to me that these White House aides are finally revealing, to save their own bacon, who really ran the country as Biden slipped into a mental incapacity, admitting to dealing with presidential advisors rather than the president himself. Issues were not being raised with the president, but cabinet members, and press secretary JPK telling us every day the president was sharp as a fiddle and he was cool to make all major decisions. Or how about, I thought about this, Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen assuring the public that the federal debt of $34.7 trillion was not a major concern. And I'm sitting here. I mean, this is absolutely nuts. Or Joe Biden telling us he was not part of his son's business. All of these people, Pac-Man, made us look like gullible fools.
That's where they were, Barry.
Not all of us, huh?
That's where they were, and they are still there, and it's time for them to go. And so I only have 5 seconds left, and I just want to say thank you. Continue to enjoy Brazil. I know you're going to be there for a little while longer, and I want everybody, our listeners, to know, where were they and where are you now?
Yes. Kurt, do we have some music for me on this Father's Day to close out? On this Father's Day, yes, the Temptations, the Impossible Dream. I speak for every father, no matter where we may be. I promise you, I'll listen to you, my child, when you need to talk, hold you when you need comfort, and love you even harder when you feel unworthy. No matter what happens, I, your dad, will always remind you, you are my heart and my soul. You are my everything. You are my family. Great dads love unconditional and need you always. Hackman, thanks for joining me on this special Father's Day. Delaware Valley on your busy Sunday. Grateful to you for spending some time with me. You have been listening to the Barry Sable Show with Friends. Talk Radio 1210 WPHT from Brazil. Have a great week, a healthy week, a safe week, and we will see you next weekend. Thanks for always being there for Uncle Barry. I appreciate you. I'll see you next weekend.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/joy, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right